Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And today we have got a tough video, and this is Where Are OG YouTubers Now Part 2. We have Part 1 on the channel. You can go look and find it. I think it's only a few weeks old. We also got Part 2 now. So ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, hit subscribe button, comment your thing down below. If you want to help me out with a donation of any sorts, financially obviously, donation of any sorts, please. My PayPal in the comments, in description for you to, if you want to send any sort of donation, that or super thanks, because I can't do live streams at the moment, but obviously not required. Just want to throw it out there. Let's get right into it. Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Tuv, and today we're going to be talking about Where Are OG YouTubers Now, Part 2. If you guys don't know, in Part 1, we focused on the 2016 era, which are, I don't know how to say this without offending people, the younger people's OGs, and now we're heading on to the actual OGs. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one for, I would hope, everyone. And guys, we are almost at 2 million subscribers. Actually, don't subscribe, alright? I will earn your subscription by the end of this video. Before the topic starts, I do want to say a big thank you to today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is...
God, I wish I could get close to where Tuv is. I don't think I'll ever get close to where Tuv is. 2 million subscribers? I'll be shocked if I ever get close to 1.
Jenna Marbles. Isn't it just a little bit insane that after 10 years of making content, hundreds of videos in, edging at 2 billion views, and about 19.6 million subscribers, a content creator could just vanish off the face of the internet? Well, it is insane, but maybe not so much so when you learn the specific reasons as to why the creator left in the first place. I'm talking about Jenna Marbles, who on June 25th, 2020, at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement and its purge, made her final video, an announcement that she was leaving YouTube for good. That now deleted video, however, was more than just an announcement. It was also an apology, and it really simply told the why. Now, how do I know that? Because the video was re-uploaded by a third party, of course. And while she goes on about many things, she apologizes for 2 specific situations. First, a video that she did in 2011 parodying Nicki Minaj, and second, a video from 2012 where she went on a self-described, quote, slut-shaming rant. She also admitted to having privated some videos where she poked fun at gender prescribing behavior. Now, I could explain the contents of those videos, but I'd rather just show you. Here is Jenna acting as Nicki Minaj. That video had her being accused of blackface, and here is part of her, quote, slut-shaming rant.
Act like a slut, but I would only judge you in how many dicks you put in your body on a regular basis. Someday, I hope maybe you realize that it feels much better when you're just not having so many dicks in you. John Mayer said, your body is a wonderland, but you know what? It's your choice if you want Wonderland to be an exclusive club, or if you want Wonderland to be like a theme park where kids get in for free on Saturdays with a canned good.
I mean, you can see why she had...
Oh boy, Jenna. Yeah, I should have been that should have. See, when I said this is one of them videos. That's one of them videos that when you it might have worked for the time. I don't know the time frame, right? I don't know when this. I don't know if that what she just did was considered cool and funny back then, and everyone was on their feet saying that's the greatest thing they've ever seen. I don't know. What I do know is this: if this was now, and if I knew someone who showed me this video saying they were gonna post it, I would tell them, don't. I'm like, let's put that in the trash and come up with something else. Let's do a different video. Something else, because that ain't it. That ain't it for sure.
Had to apologize. Even by 2011/2012 standards, this content was pretty low of her, and fellow creators called her out on it. Lacey Green, a YouTuber who talked a lot about sexuality, sex, and gender back then, for instance, argued Jenna's video was a classic example of a, quote, big wide society problem called slut shaming. She described it as Jenna failing on behalf of society. Now, as I said, she apologized. Regarding the, quote, blackface video, she said this.
And I do just want to tell you that it was not my intention to do blackface. This is the end of the video where I took my wig off. I don't know how else to say this, but it doesn't matter, because all that matters is that people were offended and it hurt them, and for that I am so unbelievably sorry. that this isn't okay, and it hasn't existed on the internet for a long time because it's not okay.
She then said this about the slut-shaming video.
I just fucked up. I ranted about girls that ran around and slept around, and that's wrong. I had a lot of internalized misogyny, I feel like, at that time in my life, and I'm sorry if I ever offended you with the things that I said in that video. And that video's been private for a long time.
She ended the apology stating that she didn't want to put out any stuff that might hurt anybody, specifically saying, I need to be done with this channel for now. So a little over 3 years later, where is she? Well, she went completely mute. The only recent update involving her is from January 2023 when her husband, Julian Solomita, shared an Instagram story that their home had been broken into by a quote, complete stranger. Before that, still through Julian's Instagram, we learned that he and Jenna got married on December 23rd, 2022. Overall, it seems social media is the only place we could get updates from Jenna. And trust me, I checked Jenna's digital footprint and her social media is completely dry. Nothing on Instagram, nothing on Twitter, and even on Tumblr. All I could see were comments like this one and this one of fans reminiscing about her, on whether her leaving on mistakes she made over a decade ago was the right move, or if she'll ever come back. Well, your guess is as good as mine. Before we end,
okay, on the apology. She did not need to leave because of mistakes made 12 years ago. Because I find things like that very annoying. This case is very interesting to me also. Because the blackface, it's all like, okay, watch, and this is how, what I'm wording is about to turn backfire on me. But I'm going to say it anyways, because freedom of speech. It was not intended to be racist, right? It's not like she did that with the intention to get a racist reaction. She just did it because that's what Nicki Minaj's skin's color is, and she was making fun of her. Unless she did things that, like, obviously I can't watch the fucking video, right? So if she did things that were, like, stereotypical racist, then maybe that is a different story. Obviously, I don't know a damn thing, so I'm just going off what Tov is telling me here. But yeah, I think in this case, the blackface thing could be, I don't know, because like, I've seen people do worse race type things and survive, so I don't think she needed to leave for that. The slut shaming one's just a stupid fucking thing. It's just a stupid video. Why would you say that or do that? But I've seen people do worse shit than that too. So, I don't think she needed to leave. I think this was just, her way out. I think she just didn't want to do videos anymore, and that was her way out, and she found her way, and she used that as a way out.
And off this Jenna Marbles section, I do want to say that her apology is up there with the best YouTuber apologies. I would say it might be the best. She apologized for what she did, said that there are no excuses, took accountability, and was overall genuine. Even though it's not my apology to accept, I do admire her authenticity for that specific apology. And yeah, who knows, there's a chance she could come back this year, or the year after this, or maybe just never come back at all. Justine.
This is another case, right? I think if she came back, she would not have as much hate as she thinks. I could be wrong, but I don't think I don't think she'd have as much hate as she thinks she would.
Came across this 2016 CNBC article that claimed not only the tastes of the traditional audience are changing, but what incoming new viewers want to watch as well. This was in the context of the likes of PewDiePie, H3H3, and Jacksepticeye hitting back at YouTube for, among other things, hiding their content from their millions of subscribers. The same article also reads, if you can hit 5, 6, 7 years at a high level, that's incredible. And since I was researching about Justine, I thought she was a classic example of that. Having started her channel back in 2006, she's been one of the most consistent tech review YouTubers ever. She is a certified.
I need her to back up from the camera a bit. Just enough, just a bit. I just need her to back up from just a little bit.
certified OG in that niche. And as of this month, she has about 2,465 videos and is just a little shy of 1.5 billion views. And the good thing about her, unlike a lot of other people in this video, is that she's still very much around. And maybe nothing speaks to that more than the fact that she's already done 3 videos on the new release, the Apple Vision Pro. I do have to say she is a prime example of someone who stuck to something for around a decade and is still reaping the rewards. I mean, she made it into Time's 100 most influential people list in 2014, already having been named, quote, most influential person by Fast Company and ranked as the number 6 most influential personality by the Daily Beast. And remember, she did all that back in 2013. By then, she had already worked as a brand ambassador with, and keep up with me here, I'm gonna name a lot of brands: Mattel, Nikon, Ford, GE, Carl's Jr., Gillette, Taco Bell, Doritos, Skittles, Sharpie, and Microsoft. Clearly a long list, and you can only imagine.
Those are good names too. Those aren't even bad names. Right on now. I just see.
Imagine how many more collaborations, sponsorships, and similar accomplishments she's had between then and now. Too many to list, honestly, and it's like she's done it all. From an exclusive interview with Apple's Tim Cook to partnering with Google's Made with Code. Now, I believe I've answered where iJustine is now, very much around and active on all her socials. She even has a podcast called Same Brain, but during this research, I found some really interesting content from the 2000s that I want to share with you guys. So back in the day, parodies were a big thing. It was like, you wanted 10 million views, drop a parody. And surprisingly, iJustine shows us her vocals with a parody to the Black Eyed Peas' I Got a Feeling.
I know that we'll get along if you make sure the photos you tag them all. I feel stressed out, I need a new pic. Gotta get home and update my new profile.
And we also have a video where her voice is pitched up, you know, trying to copy the Fred wave and do a little comedy sketch. So here's that.
I'm hungry. I want some pizza. I'm going to order some.
She needs to stop zooming in on herself. Her zoom-ins are what's making me not want to get back up.
Pizza.
Is somebody home? How may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to play.
And those 2 videos are from a time where I think she was incredibly popular. Yes, even more than she is now. Sorry to say that she's not peaking anymore, she peaked back in the day. And her new viewers might probably not know this, but she was more of a life caster back then, with a book to show for it. She would do these entertaining vlogs of her day-to-day life, and like you've just seen, song parodies that people loved. I mean, that Black Eyed Peas video has 18 million views. And like I said, that time period, around 2009 to 2012, seems to have been her peak viewership era, because the views sort of reduced with time, with only a few other videos being viral, like this one with 7.5 million views, where she was the first in line for an iPhone 6. Some of her other tech videos and collabs have gotten closer to or beat that figure. Overall, a good way to sum iJustine up is that she's a great content creator. And because tech is an evergreen niche, there's a chance she's gonna be relevant for a while longer. I mean, think about it. There's new tech always coming out. All she has to do is make a review on it, and she's back to the top of the leaderboards. You know, it's kind of hard to compete with Marcus Brownlee though, but she's still up there. That's the only good thing about being in a niche, is that you always have content. If you're a personality-based YouTuber and you become irrelevant, it's kind of hard to come back to relevancy. I mean, what are you gonna do? Pull a Vitaly and start picking fights on kick streaming? When you have a niche, you always have like a safety rope. Is that even a term? I don't know if that's a term. Unless that niche dies, of course. But with tech, yeah, that's never gonna die. Anyway, let's head on to the next one. Ray William Johnson. There is probably no way you would have been active on YouTube in the 2010 to 2015 era and not know Ray William Johnson. I mean, the guy might as well have been the face of the internet with his Equals 3 show. And just to refresh your memory, Equals 3 was an incredibly popular comedic commentary series where he'd take us through various funny viral videos. It was so popular that back then the Ray William Johnson channel, which is now called Ray William Johnson but back then was called Equals 3, was the most subscribed to channel just 3 years after its creation. This was a really big deal because not only had he passed up Rihanna and Justin Bieber's YouTube channels, which music channels were really big back then, and they still are, but they were at the top back then, so this was a really big thing that he did, but also because he was the first channel to ever hit 5 million subscribers. Now, before we get lost in all of his early accomplishments, let's talk about where Ray William Johnson is now. Well, just like he figured out the algorithm back then, he figured it out again, but specifically for the short video niche. Yes, TikToks, Reels, YouTube Shorts, all of those. And I really really mean killing it. Just look at these TikTok numbers. Not only does he have a little over 10 million followers, but each video on there seems to be arguably viral. I actually checked, and out of about 100 of his latest videos, none of them are below 1 million views. Most of them are actually above the 5 million view mark. Also, just so you know, he joined TikTok in May of 2020, and I think part of his success is because he's really consistent on posting his social media crime commentary videos. This TikTok success also reflects on other platforms, for instance his YouTube Shorts and Facebook, where he equally gets healthy views. He also gets good enough engagement on his Instagram, which has about 1.1 million followers. Now, going back to his old stuff, I don't think most people know what was going on in his life between this video and where he is now. In that video, this is what he had to say.
Well, the short answer is I've been making internet videos as a hobby for a long time, and I feel like I've outgrown it. Like, I've written more jokes about viral videos than any one human should ever have to write.
Yep, he quit because he outgrew that kind of content. And to fill in the blanks for you, he went on to work on other projects that were really successful. He, for instance, worked on a sci-fi teen drama in 2013 called Riley Rewind that successfully premiered on his Facebook page. He then made a show concept that was bought by FX Networks, got cast in Who's Driving Doug in 2016 as Scott, which actually looks kinda good. I might watch it later. Oh, and all along, he's been running his virtual band, Your Favorite Martian. Though they did have a big bump in the road where they weren't able to make content for about 9 years due to it being bought by a company and the contract recently being up. So yeah, it's very nice seeing Your Favorite Martian come back. It's just like this whole nostalgic thing. I used to watch that back when I was a kid, so it's really nice seeing it come back. Overall, I think it's accurate to say that Ray is doing just fine. He figured out a way to pivot his content to new audiences, plus he hopped on that short form wave, and it seems to be going great for him. I do have to add though that I want you guys to notice Justine is successful, she has the tech niche. Ray William Johnson is successful, and he is talking about popular stories. I just want you guys to notice that YouTubers stick around when they're not personality based. If they can latch onto something and make it their thing, but also, you know, people will naturally like their personality, like how they tell stories or how they review products. It seems like it's just the best option to do if you're looking to become a sort of influencer. If you can attach your name to something, usually works out best for the long run. For the short run, you could be a personality based YouTuber, and you know, it's scary. You could fall off within a year or two, maybe even 3 if you're lucky. But yeah, just something to keep in mind if you want to be a content creator. I mean, that's what we do on this channel. I know you guys like me, but a lot of people don't even know who I am. Like, you guys watch for the topics, and it's my duty, you know, to read you guys some awesome stories, usually on the morbid side. Yeah.
Well, this is gonna be the thing. That little part right there is gonna be the thing that gets all the comments being like, "This is why you shouldn't do reaction videos." I know you're there. I delete you, but I know you're there. You're always there. Wanting to say stuff. I know. I sent you. I sent you presents. Oh yeah. I'm gonna stare at you right now, because you know who you are.
I just dropped some wisdom on you guys. There you go. Let's head on to the next person. Smosh. I actually should have said the next people. Yeah, that would have been proper. So picture this. In 2005, 2 childhood friends joined efforts and create a YouTube channel. By their own admission, they did so, quote, as a way to make each other laugh and just have fun. Unknown to them, it's like they had come up with a magic recipe for YouTube success. That's because just a year later, in mid-2006 for example, they were on the top of YouTube's most subscribed members list. Yeah, most subscribed members list. That's how old YouTube is, man. They used to call us their members, their most subscribed members. And again, in 2013, they held that spot for a staggering 215 days, having crossed the 6.7 million subscribers mark. You might actually recall that in the previous case, that of Ray William Johnson, I mentioned that he was the most subscribed to channel ever as of 2011 with 5 million subscribers. Well, this channel passed him in 2013, and he even congratulated them on Twitter. By 2016, these childhood friends had made it to the list of, quote, highest paid channels, earning about $7 million in the past year. Now, that's all pretty interesting, but what happened next was even crazier. So in 2017, one of these childhood friends, Anthony Padilla, decides to quit the channel out of a creative block, though it would be more accurate to say that his creative freedom was being blocked. That's because earlier on, in 2011, the channel had been acquired by Alloy Digital, later rebranded to Defy Media, who were in control of production. Surprisingly, as he quit just 2 years later in 2019, Defy Media, facing the closure of operations, then sells the channel to another company, company, Mythical Entertainment. That closure was amidst Defy Media getting called out for, quote, predatory practices and lack of professionalism during the years they owned the channel. And then, in a very welcome twist in 2023, the two childhood friends buy back the channel from Mythical Entertainment, and it's like they never left. Has any of that gotten you to figure out who these two guys are? Well, yes, they are Smosh, Anthony Padilla, and Ian Hecox. These guys are OGs in every sense of the word, and Smosh is honestly one of the most successful YouTube channels ever. They're actually the reason I created this specific YouTube channel. I made this channel in 2012 just to subscribe to Smosh. A lot of people always ask, like, damn man, your channel's old, you've been grinding forever. It's like, no, I was 10 years old and I wanted to watch food battles and get that on my feed. Currently, the channel stands a little shy of 11 billion views with 26.6 million subscribers and about 1,776 videos. And yes, the channel did take a detour, let's just call it that, between May of 2017 and May 2023. In May of 2017, Anthony announced that he was leaving, much to the disappointment of fans, with some blame going to Defy Media. Defy then, in a dramatic turn, shut down in 2018 and sold the channel to Mythical Entertainment, owned by Red and Link, for $10 million. Now, knowing that the two bought back their channel from Mythical in May of 2023 sort of answers where they are now, and interestingly revealed that they did have a hitch in their friendship. It turns out that when Anthony left in 2017, he and Ian had not been on good terms. That's because as they reunited in 2023, Ian said, "It's kind of freaky how well this has all fallen into place. Our friendship had to end to be able to come back together." Anyway, they are now full owners and back to the sketch comedy skits that are entirely written by them. It's been about 7 months since their return, and so far they have been uploading consistently. Their social media presence is also as strong as ever, being that is where they make announcements like this. We'll for sure be seeing more of them. Also, we don't talk about the Smosh movie. Fred. Unlike Smosh, this next channel's attempt at a comeback has turned out to be a rather hard to watch fade to irrelevance.
Good. Get rid of Fred. I don't know what the appeal was of him. I've hated this character from the moment I saw it to the moment now. I hate everything about this character. His voice, his appearance, and I know that was his thing. He was like the most hated man, and I hate him still. It will never change. I hate everything about this guy. Every single thing. Oh, I hate Fred.
I'm talking about Lucas Cruikshank and the insanely popular Fred Figglehorn character that he created back in the late 2000s. Aged just 13 years old, Lucas came up with Fred while experimenting with different characters for videos he was making with his cousins John and Katie for their channel JKL Productions. He would then move to a separate channel, the Fred channel, that he had set up earlier in 2005. The first upload, Fred on Halloween, supposedly was posted on the channel in October 2006 as part of a series. From there on, it was all smooth sailing. So smooth that in 2009, Fred became the first ever channel in history to get to 1 million subscribers. That was much to the elation of Lucas, as he even made a video about it.
Hey everyone, it's Lucas. As you can tell, I'm the guy who plays Fred and I created it, so I just want to thank each and every one of you for getting Fred to 1 million subscribers.
I have no clue who that weird guy was right before this, you know, that weirdo? But whatever, the reason why I'm making this video is because I want to thank all of you guys for getting my YouTube channel to 1 million subscribers! So yeah, thank you guys so much!
And surprisingly, that
I don't know how this got popular. I've met a person who did that voice just for 2 seconds. I'm throwing them down the stairs. I am throwing them down the stairs. I would throw them down a flight of stairs. Oh, I can hate Fred.
all happened with just 36 videos. Although to be fair, these had a combined 250 million views. That level of success also came with its perks, as on February 16th, Fred got featured on Nickelodeon's iCarly in what an LA Times reporter called the biggest gap jump yet by an online video star. It was a marriage between YouTube and television, and this was just the beginning. Fred had already been set to make appearances into TV territory. For instance, Lucas booked a deal with Walden Media, the production studio behind the City of Ember film, to promote it on the Fred episodes. It was no surprise, therefore, that at the end of 2009, Lucas and his team made Fred the Movie, a film based on the adventures of Fred, produced and largely funded by Brian Robbins. Now, while not really successful, 0% on Rotten Tomatoes and 2 out of 10 on IMDb, it gave him a footing with Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon turned Fred into a franchise, going to make Fred 2, Night of the Living Fred, Fred the Show, and Fred 3, Camp Fred. Between then and 2015, Fred and Lucas himself made a few cameos such as in Annoying Orange and The New Fred. I'm saying The New Fred because because leading into 2015, when the channel made its final upload, Lucas had sold it to Yuksung Corporation, a South Korean company that wanted to use the channel's popularity to promote its serials and a new series of videos. Now, as we pivot to where Lucas and Fred are now, I do have to mention that Lucas had a second channel all along. This was a more personal channel, but obviously it wasn't as successful as Fred. He still posts on it today, but doesn't get that many views. He also did try to revive the Fred character on TikTok, and this was in 2021, but it just gives off, I don't want to be rude, but it gives off like take me back to my golden days vibe.
Puppy, puppy, puppy in my hand, puppy in the grass and puppy in the sand, puppy all day, puppy all night. The puppy was filled like a puppy high.
Now, I might have skipped a thing or two about what happened between 2015 and 2021, but you guys get the idea. He simply went from YouTube to mainstream media, back to YouTube/TikTok with a fraction of the views he would once get. But I do want to say, internet relevancy is not equivalent to financial success or happiness. I'm sure he's doing just fine and is probably happier than ever and not as stressed. I don't want this video to seem like, oh, these people are irrelevant now, ha ha ha. No, it just so happens that a lot of OG content creators have faded away, but that doesn't mean they aren't successful in their own terms. Yeah, that's how I'll end the Fred segment. Let's head on to the next one. PewDiePie. Did you know that
Well, he ain't going nowhere. This is one that's still around, I think pretty much, well, does he still upload? Or did he just leave? Because I remember one of them I think he just left actually.
PewDiePie's full name is Felix Arvid Ulf Schellberg? Well, maybe you did, but if you didn't, now you know. And where is he now? Well, for the answer to make sense, we have to go back to this clip.
I've already retired. I decided a couple months ago. I'm doing YouTube in a more low pace. I'm sorry. That means that I'm not uploading as frequent as I am, but I just decided, fuck it. I'm retired. Yeah. Have you noticed any difference?
Yep, that was in November of 2020, and just like you heard, by the time he was saying that, he had decided on it a few months back. The point being that he retired or semi-retired in 2020. He also suggested that he might try to live in Japan after retirement, and he indeed followed through on all of those. I looked through his channel, and since that Q&A video, he's been uploading probably at a frequency of once a week, also not on any specific days, and he's just stuck to comedic commentary alongside lifestyle vlogs. He completely moved away from the gaming stuff, and also true to his plan, 2 years into his retirement, he moved to Japan. He made a video announcing this, and he's been there ever since. We actually know this not only because he has an entire collection of vlogs about Japan, but also because one of his recent uploads, barely a month old, is titled Grandparents Came to Japan. In the video, he's taking his baby around, specifically to an aquarium in Kawasaki, to see his reaction. And yes, he has a baby. He made the announcement that he and Marzia, the wife, were pregnant in February 2023, although they had found out earlier on in November 2022. Somewhere in mid-2023, they welcomed baby Björn, much to the delight of PewDiePie's fans. Now, while PewDiePie says he's retired, he's still active on most socials, except Twitter. He deleted his Twitter account and has made it very clear he does not like that website.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit for hating that website. I don't blame him.
I already mentioned he's been uploading on his YouTube channel. However, there's more. In 2021, for instance, he signed a deal with Jelly Smack for them to optimize and distribute his content on Facebook. Then, in March of 2023, his Twitch, which had been inactive for a while, suddenly came back, streaming episodes of Trailer Park Boys. While some thought it was hacked, the truth is that it was all the work of Copilot Media, which apparently was using that footage, which they owned the rights to test things out ahead of the planned rolling out of PewDiePie Infinity, an endless loop of PewDiePie's videos. Barely a month later, the Twitch channel got banned with speculations being that it had replayed the infamous bridge incident in which PewDiePie dropped the N-word. The channel is actually unbanned and as of right now has 200 viewers. That's so interesting. I would have thought that the views were dead or like maybe 2 people viewing, but I mean, when you compare it to it having 1.5 million followers, that is horrible, but hey, it's PewDiePie Infinity. In November of 2022, he was surpassed by Mr. Beast as the most subscribed to YouTuber. Yeah, so that's really what's been happening lately with this legendary OG creator. Niga Higa. When talking about OG YouTube,
I know a lot of people probably wondering why I'm not saying much here. I don't have much to say on these YouTubers. Most of these YouTubers I don't know. It is a learning thing for me to speak and hear about these guys. So it's literally just me learning about stuff.
YouTubers, it's impossible to leave out Niga Higa, the incredibly popular channel by Ryan Higa that really had everyone on a chokehold. Ryan, who actually started the channel in 2006 while still in high school, found his success quickly by posting lip syncs of popular songs and comedic sketches. And while he did some stuff solo, he occasionally featured the Yabo crew, which included, and I know I might butcher these names, Tim Enos, Ryan Villarreal, Kyle Chun, and Taran Nago. He later would change the team, replacing them with the Ryan Higa production company, a decision inspired by his move to college. In this new team, Sean Fujiyoshi would grow to become a critical part of the channel, but more on that later. Going back to his early rise, his videos, which use other people's stuff, quickly got him into trouble as he got a lot of copyright strikes. These strikes were so bad that not only did they lead to the removal of several of his YouTube videos, including How to Be Ninja and How to Be Gangster, but also a temporary ban on the entire channel. This was back in 2009. He seemed to have figured a way around that though, because these How to Be Blank videos were reinstated and kept growing insanely popular. I'm talking about videos like this, and this. Niga Higa grew so much that in between 2009 and 2011, it held the top spot for most subscribed channels. It was even the first ever to hit 2 million and 3 million subscriber milestones. Speaking of 2 million subscribers, it would be pretty cool if you could subscribe. If you think I've earned your subscription by the way I tell these stories. If you don't want to yet, it's okay. I'll earn it by the very end of this video. I'm just saying. Good segue. That's all. I also have to say that what really made this channel stand out was how much excellence went into it. For instance, this fake Fortnite the movie trailer is absolutely insane and worth the watch. He seemed to outdo himself with every new video. So with all that going on, what happened to the channel? When did it drop off? Where is Ryan today? Well, since 2020, Ryan hasn't uploaded anything on there. He never really directly gave reasons for leaving, but watching a few of his last videos gives the answer. The downward spiral seems to have begun in 2018 when Sean left. He was replaced by Paco, who never really matched up. And it didn't help that allegations of him pressuring someone into sex also came out around that time. Here are the DMs, you can pause to read them.
Okay, that's just the other student. I'm sorry for that. Things will okay because sometimes you. Jesus, this guy sounds like a fucking ridiculous idiot. Oh, he sounds so fucked up.
In 2019, Ryan allegedly took a break for the entire year, only to come back with this video. He dug into the toll that his midlife crisis had on him, including him turning 30 without accomplishment, which is ironic for someone in the Forbes 30 under 30 list. Regardless, it seems that crisis sort of pivoted him away from the content we knew him for, but also, as I've just shown you, it looks like COVID-19 might have gotten in the way of making new videos anyway, though he also had mentioned that he did not find it enjoyable or fun to make videos the same way as before. He had just outgrown that era and was facing backlash for it. Anyway, it seems he found his footing again, as in 2020 he got on Twitch at It's Ryan Higa, and he's been streaming there since. Prank versus prank, with videos like this one, prank versus prank, and BF versus GF.
Yeah, this is definitely not. This is a channel I actually have no idea of, no knowledge of this one.
Their other channel are arguably channels that introduced the couples pranking each other trend on YouTube, or at least popularized it. They were so popular that Prank vs. Prank even topped USA Today's list of YouTube's top 10 prankster channels in 2013. Yeah, USA Today. They were mainstream. And remember, we're talking about a time, 2008 to 2013-ish, when prankster channels were super popular and extremely competitive. Prank vs. Prank remains.
Yeah, now prank channels are the most fucking annoyingest things where people find pranks aren't actually pranks. They're like crimes now.
Top of their game for some years, as they also won a Streamy Award for the best prank show in 2015. Unfortunately, in 2016, things went south. They made this announcement posted on Jen's channel. Why did they part ways? Well, it turns out that daily vlogging ate into their relationship. That's what Jessie said. Jen also had her reason. So combining the two explanations, it's clear that living in the public eye as a couple had become difficult. It's simply simply screwed up what went on behind the scenes. I also have to add that before they cleared the air on what had happened, there were rumors flying around, with crazy theories such as Jesse having cheated and having a secret daughter. Following the breakup, Jesse took over the Prank vs. Prank channel, and Jen took over BF vs. GF. Each would then go on to post on their respective channels, although they didn't maintain the millions of views that were typical to them. A year ago, in a rather pleasant surprise, they made a video titled "We Back," like old times. Though they weren't really coming back in that sense, they were just exploring Philadelphia together and remembering the good old days. Also, about 3 months ago, they reunited with a Q&A on Jen's channel and confirmed that they were not getting back together at all. This is what they said word for word.
Mostly, all of the questions are, when are you getting back together? Are you back together? And that was like literally all you guys cared about.
Okay, well, let's answer that question right now.
Yeah, so the answer is no, we're
not getting back together.
That same time, Jesse posted a video on his channel from the same Q&A, I guess. Overall, it seems like they still have some chemistry, and a lot of fans seem to agree on that. But they really aren't ever gonna go back to their old type of content. And in case you were wondering, Jesse is currently at 10.5 million subscribers, with a bit of irregular uploads, and Jen is at 8.3 million subscribers, with also an irregular schedule. I do want to say that I actually used to watch Jesse's solo content. I never watched their prank channels. Obviously, I would see like the viral clips back in the day. But like 2 years ago, maybe even last year, I would watch his solo videos. They're pretty cool. He has cool drone shots. There was one point where he was living in a trailer or an RV, I think, with his dog, and it was just very wholesome content. It was nice. It was nice. So he makes pretty good content on his own, basically. I'm co-signing his content. But yeah, let's head on to the next person. Tyler Oakley. Next up is Tyler Oakley, currently at 6.76 million subscribers. He's not quite as popular as the other OG YouTubers we've covered, but still commanded a rather large audience back then. This is especially true in the 2012 to 2016 period, where he was really killing it with millions of views per video. Some of his stuff, like this, and this, actually did make it past the 10 million viewership mark. Now, all along, Tyler has been a lifestyle YouTuber, and he did so very successfully, even being featured on a Frontline documentary, Generation Like, which was all about young people sort of redefining the culture by living their lives on social media. Also, from way back, he's always been an LGBTQ activist and integrated this into his content pretty well. It's clear his big break was around 2013, around the time he made this video, and then kind of slowed down in viewership in 2017. Why? Well, your guess is as good as mine. He kept posting though, but he never achieved those earlier levels of success again. Later, in December of 2020, he surprised everyone with this announcement. Yep, he took a break. He would then come back in September 2022 with yet another announcement, and to recap that for you, he ditched YouTube and became a Twitch streamer. His last video on that channel was this one, where he sort of updated everyone on his journey, quote, aging on the internet. Also, since 2014, he's been doing the Psychobabble podcast, which currently has about 450 episodes. In that update video that he did, this one, he actually talks about how much he's loved doing both the podcast and being on Twitch, which I guess it means he doesn't really care about the YouTube views anymore. And that's not only because of the infrequent views on his main channel, but also the slow growth on his second channel. That one's called Tyler Oakley Games, which he created in 2015. Although, to be fair, he has just about 21 videos on it, with the oldest being from 5 months ago. So yeah, that's where Tyler Oakley is now. Lily Singh. Is mainstream media where YouTuber careers go to die? I'm asking honestly because we already talked about Fred, and I can't help but connect the dots between that situation and the one we're about to talk about. Lily Singh, aka Superwoman, who currently has about 14.4 million followers and a little over 3.5 billion views, used to dominate the internet back in the day. I'm saying the internet
What if like her name popped up is in my mind for some reason? I remember her name for something. I don't remember what it is though. If y'all can think of, knowing me, for the people who watch this who know me, where would her name have popped up before? Lily Singh. Because that name sounds familiar. Where would I have heard that before?
Because her videos would both be on YouTube and Facebook, and she was easily one of the more mainstream YouTubers. I mean, from 2015 to 2017, for instance, she was on Forbes' list of highest paid YouTubers, earning a whopping $10.5 million in 2017. That same year, she was named UNICEF's Goodwill Ambassador, and she had a lot more going on, like having a book deal and doing a world tour. Yes, she actually did a world tour, going to 27 cities, doing packed meet and greets, and turning the whole thing into a documentary, A Trip to Unicorn Island. Then, as if to crown it all, she got her very own late night show on NBC, A Little Late with Lily Singh. Let me just squeeze in here and say that she might have been forced into TV, because when NBC initially approached her, she said no. She had already been burnt out by YouTube. Anyway, late night TV wasn't a good idea after all, as that's where the tide sort of turned. Not only did the show really struggle to get viewership, but she also fell off of YouTube. She's sort of already...
Look, it's gonna be honest, right? This is the issue with late night TV. You can't do it if one, you don't have an established audience, already difficult, but two, if you're going to give it to someone who doesn't really have that full TV established audience, or like over mainstream established audience, yeah, they have to present something different. They have to present something to people on TV who tune in. Why they should keep watching every week, because you either never know what they're going to talk about, or you never know what they're going to say, or you got to give them something that isn't on TV every single time. Because I feel like, my guess with her, she's burnt out, right? She's burnt out. She has no end. She doesn't really want to do this show. She's not going to really do anything different. She's probably going to do what you could watch in like 15 other late night shows, right? So, probably what the flaw was for her is there's probably nothing different. It's the same old, same old. And if it's the same old, you ain't going to get nowhere.
Already had announced a break, though she kept posting. In a TED Talk that she did in March of 2022, she revealed this.
Now, unfortunately, the budget wasn't based on the importance or significance or historic nature of the show. It was based on the 1:30 a.m. time slot that we had. So, to say the budget was small, the writing staff even smaller, and to do the first season, I had to shoot 96 episodes of late night television in 3 months. Who was right? To put that into perspective, that is shooting 2 to 3 episodes a day versus the network standard of 1 a day. Maybe 2 on Thursday.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy that she had to shoot 96 episodes in 3 months on a limited budget. She also wasn't happy that her takes on...
Oh, you wouldn't get that from me. They're like, hey, we want you to do this show, and you gotta do 96 episodes in 3 months. I'm like, how about I don't do the show, and how about you fuck off? I ain't doing that, but that definitely wouldn't work for me, because I'd be talking about, I'd want to be, if you gave me that as a show, I'm talking about things that are currently happening. I want people to find out current, present-day topics, and I would give my honest opinion on them. And I mean honest. I could try to do it without swearing, but it'd be honest. There wouldn't be no straddling the line. I don't work that way. So yeah, it wouldn't be definitely wouldn't be your average damn late night show. But it wouldn't be good. The networks wouldn't like me.
On the show weren't being included in mainstream media coverage. This is what she said.
But my take was almost never included in topical media news coverage roundups. You know, we still got the same voices, the same perspectives, even though someone and something different was literally in the next time slot. I kept trying to pull up my seat. I kept trying to join the dinner conversation. I kept trying to ask for a more supportive seat. But every time I would be told that I should be grateful to have a seat in the first place. After all, everyone else that looks like me is still waiting outside the restaurant in the cold.
After 2 seasons, NBC canceled the show, and Lily moved on, committing to work on projects around content, telling, quote, unrepresented stories under her company, Unicorn Island Productions. She mentioned that had been difficult to do on a late night show. I should also say that she got a lot of hate during this time for being the, quote, worst host, and always, quote, bringing up being bisexual and a woman of color. Anyway, where is Lily Sim?
Look, I'm not gonna say someone should always bring up being, but it depends, I guess, how she presented it. If she just brought up in random conversations where she had it didn't even make sense, that and being a person of color. If she just kept bringing it up for no real reason, it didn't fit to the conversation, just kept bringing it up, okay. If she kept, it really ain't her fault. There's always topics that would fit bringing those up. I ain't mad at her for that. I can understand it. I would have to. I feel like you could probably find me clips where I'm like, okay, I get it, but like, I don't know if it'd be a hate. I don't know if I can hate, especially with some of the TV fucking host things. I guarantee you, she's probably not the worst.
Now, well, starting.
If you're watching this right now and you watch late night TV or you watch talk shows like late night talk shows or whatever, I was about to 30, 40-year-olds. That's my main audience. Who is the worst late night host you've seen? Who fits the category and why? Why do they fit that category? Let me know.
Starting with this article, it seems making shows under her company, Unicorn Island Productions, is the priority now. She's been producing the kids show, The Mindful Adventures of Unicorn Island, and is working on a drama series. Then, on her channel about 9 months ago, she popped back with this. In the video, she explains that while she had been remixing her old content for YouTube Shorts, it was time she made fresh updates going forward. She insisted that she was going to personally, not her team, be doing videos on Shorts and TikTok. And she's been at it since, though it's nowhere near as successful as her old stuff. But geez, 21,000 dislikes? I saw some comments under that video claiming that she only came back to market her movie, but I mean, that's a given. She's gonna come back with an update video, and yes, she's gonna self-promo. There were also a lot of comments claiming that she was
What a dumb thought process to have. Like, oh my god, the person who's doing YouTube on their own channel to their fans is promoting their product. Okay, I will say, so all the people comment that you're fucking idiots. That's literally what she's supposed to do. What the fuck do you think? Of course she's gonna come back to promote her stuff. It's her fucking channel. Of course she's gonna self-promote. She wants her fans to watch her stuff to see what she's up to. Stupid! Y'all stupid! The people who dislike her for that reason, y'all are stupid.
Is unfunny, and I'm not gonna lie, I do have to agree with that one. Very millennial humor that is just it's not funny. It's not funny nowadays. But the humor wasn't 21,000 dislikes worth of unfunny. I was able to find one comment explaining why she gets hate, but take this with a grain of salt. This is just a random comment. So someone commented, "I'm so confused, why is she getting hate?" And the person responded with, "She puts feminism in a bad light and makes actual feminists look bad. All she does is blame men and similar stuff. This isn't real feminism, it's more woke BS. There's a difference between empowering women and blurting random stuff on the internet for clout. Not to mention, she has the personality of a fish and blames everything on."
Okay. She has the personality of a fish. I like. I don't agree. I might not agree with it, but that's a good insult. I gotta remember that. I gotta remember that. She puts she has the personality of a fish. Oh, I'm gonna insult my friends with that one, and he's gonna be so confused. Look, I don't know if this is true or not. If this is true, okay, I understand it, but I don't know if that's actually true. So, again, this is just a person who doesn't know anything.
Sexism or phobia. Yeah, grain of salt, like I said, but pretty sure she's a multi-millionaire. I'll end it off with that one. So let's head on to the next person.
Fair.
McJuggernuggets. I'm willing to bet when you hear McJuggernuggets, the first thing that comes to mind is the Psycho series. You know, videos like this one and this one. That series ran all the way from December 2012 to June 2016, and in Jesse's own words, had 50 main episodes and about 1,000 vlogs around it. Pretty insane numbers, and it was obvious that this series was carrying the channel. Surprisingly though, although the channel blew up during that time frame, it had started way earlier in 2006, and Jesse had already done other web series over Archivers, Mind, and The Game. Now, what's also interesting is that even though he ended the Psycho series in 2016, he continued to do Psycho videos once in a while, like here and here. Yeah, and this could be argued as he just wanted views again. You can tell that's the case because any video in mentioning Psycho Dad instantly got more views than any other of his videos. Also, looking at the recent stuff, the frequency of uploads, at least in the last couple of months, went down with 1 to 2 videos per month. And what is he up to now then? Well, while looking into his gaming stuff on Twitch, I was pleasantly surprised to learn that Jesse is actually the co-founder of Storyfire. You know, the content platform centered around Web3 gaming, social media, and DeFi. That's looking to rival YouTube. It's really funny because in part 1, we spoke about Sky Does Minecraft and the fact that they are the COO of Storyfire, and now in part 2, McJuggernuggets is the co-founder. Really interesting connection. But yeah, that's perhaps where all his attention went to. Basherverse. In 2019, Basherverse, who most remember when he'd play with Sky Does Minecraft and his crew, Team Craft,
Sunny V2, who I know has some split opinions when it comes to his people, has a bunch of like the downfall videos on YouTube, and I find them very insightful. So I think I'm gonna react to more of those because I find those really good to listen to. So I feel like I might react to more of those in the future.
came back under the username Toasty Time. Where had he gone? Well, between April 2017 and 2019, he'd been offline, deleting all his social media accounts and videos from YouTube, both main channel and Bash Does Things. This was after allegations of him having dated a minor when he was 18 came up. He actually had made this goodbye/breakdown video, and you can hear him mention Keemstar because Keemstar did indeed interview him on it and made several videos around the allegations.
And Keemstar just keeps freaking... It's just constant barrage. Like, all my videos are like, I've been up for so long and I'm so stressed right now, and it's just, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I'm just done. Like, this isn't worth it. I'm so sorry, guys. You guys are like, you know, how big of an inspiration I am to you guys and stuff, and I'm not. I am so not. Yeah, and I'm so tired of freaking people saying I'm not the victim, and I'm not the victim. I never f***ing said it was the victim! I never said it was the victim! I never once said it was the victim! And I'm sick and tired of being called a f***ing rapist! I'm tired of
turns out that the rumors were allegedly true, and Asher, that's Basherverse's real name, had dated a 15-year-old when he was 18.
This is where it gets controversial and stuff. Is she had just turned 15, and she was 15 years old, and I had just turned 18.
But yeah, he got charged with sexual misconduct, fined, and credited for the time served. And it definitely didn't help that some of his earlier content, like using his girlfriend's body to fish for views, wasn't the best look. Though that was really a phase. Anyway, he'd gone away to avoid all of the attention. And when he came back, he changed the channel's name to Toasty. He also got on Twitch and had about 165,000 followers there. I must also add that post allegations, he had been in a really bad place. That's around 2020. And you can tell from this video of his comeback. Now, unfortunately, just a year later, Asher got diagnosed with COVID-19, and it would end fatally for him. In August of 2021, he tweeted this: "Still in the ICU on oxygen. It's hell. Please get your vaccine. You don't want this. Not going to lie, I was very close to death. Now I'm slowly fighting back." He was struggling with both COVID and pneumonia, and sadly, he passed away a little while later. It's safe to assume that by then, he sort of redeemed himself to his audience with comments like these. You can tell people really dislike Keemstar for pushing the fact what happened when he was 18 years old. And I do want to share a personal story I have with Basher. He never knew who I was, but I will never forget. I don't think I've ever said this in a video, but it was back when I had a laptop that wasn't even a gaming laptop. I think it was around, I was like 11 or 12 maybe, so 2013 to 2014, I was using my cousin's Minecraft account, the Mojang account, and that's where I would play Minecraft. And her username was Nerdy72, if I remember correctly. And I'll never forget, I forgot how I found out. Maybe it was a tweet, maybe he talked about it in a video, but I was able to join his Hunger Games server. At least, I don't know if it was his, but he was in the game, right? So I see Basherverse username, and I see the watermelon skin, and it was so exciting trying to fight him, and he killed me instantly. And when he killed me, I'll never forget that I was like, yo, I might end up in a Basher video. And next thing you know, I see that Basherverse had uploaded like a Hunger Games video. I click it, and I couldn't stop replaying when he killed me. And I had my cousin's account, Nerdy72. So even if I had screen recorded it or saved it, it wouldn't say Tuv or the unhappy voice. It would just save my cousin's account. But I'll never forget that I kept replaying that, and I was like, yo, I'm in a Basher video. This is crazy. But yeah, just a little wholesome story. And I do want to end this one off by just saying rest in peace to Basherverse.
I will repeat that also. Rest in peace to Basherverse. Rest in peace.
Dan TDM. Last on our list is Dan TDM, who despite having slowed down a little bit, is still massively successful across his platforms. I mean, on YouTube, where he has 28.5 million subscribers and 19 billion total views across 3,700 videos, he still gets decent eyeballs, with most videos being between 500,000 and 1.5 million views. On Twitch, he's equally doing well with about 1.7 million followers. Also, although he didn't start as early as other OGs on this list, he began in 2012, and his Minecraft commentaries were an instant hit, even getting him to about 300 to 400 million views per month at one point. As BBC puts it, his love for video games did indeed turn into a cultural brand. While speaking to BBC, he mentioned that having succeeded so early was a surprise to him. He said, "I think I had 1 million subscribers. At that point, I was gaining 10 to 20,000 subscribers a day," referring to the peak period of his channel. And the achievements didn't stop there, as he would then go on to become one of the most viewed channels at one point. And just for perspective, we're talking of a time when his videos like this and this would get tens of millions of views. Those are the kind of views that win someone several Kids' Choice Awards, set a Guinness World Record, and get them to show up on the highest paid YouTube stars list. Yeah, he topped the list in 2017, having made a whopping $16.5 million a year before. $16.5 million, bro is set for life. By 2020, his net worth was...
I wish I could even touch that amount of money, bro.
Was about 31.5 million. And obviously, there's a reason he doesn't really care about views anymore. He seems to be happy to stream on his own terms, and he's now a father. He welcomed his firstborn in 2020 and his secondborn in 2022. Yeah, I'm glad that we could end the video off on a lighter note. Yeah, he's doing just fine, and he's a family man, so shout out to Dan. Alright, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this reaction video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all for the next one.